Scott.
Wow. I gave myself an just to make sure I was part of the group. Fellow Toastmasters, I always like to start with what was great, and there was some great stuff today. Vincent was asked to step in at Harold's behest, not, will you just do that? No, will you step in at his behest? April said that. She also said, we are endeavoring. Made me feel like we're going on a quest this morning. We're not just going to try, we're going to endeavor. Well played. Vincent said an icebreaker is the opening notes of a symphony that is to come. How melodic was that? Paul said, I'm going to give you a flavor of me. We got quite a taste. He also reminded us that you can do it quickly and receive the recognition, or you can do it correctly and receive the skills. I will never forget that. Vicky reminded us that Kairos is a message whose time has come, and also told us that Kate's title was evocative. It wasn't just like inspirational or whatever. It really made us think. I love that. Kate said being challenged is inevitable and being defeated is optional. Wow. It's important to have a feedback or feedback loop. It certainly is, isn't it? That's what we are here for. We are the feedback loop company, Toastmasters group. Thank you for telling me the truth, she said. We can all say that from time to time. What a great phrase to use when you feel criticized, and you can turn that on its ear. I like hearing the truth. Thank you. John, leave it to you to remind us that snitches get stitches. And Muriel, I can't believe I'm almost speechless. I couldn't either. All right. I have this dear friend, my friends, who says the tipping point, the point at which we make change, is when the pain becomes great enough. And so I'm going to bring a little pain, see if I can perhaps get you to a place where you are inclined to make a few changes. David, your melodic symphony of vocal tone is delightful, but I am still distracted by the that you bring to the table right at the beginning of the meeting. Topical topic that you said might be a wee bit redundant, don't you think? April, you're only guilty of one Lavinia, an and a you know, and then 3 more uhs. Vincent, 1 Vicky, 2 uhs. What a surprise. Donna, an John, you had an and that didn't belong in there, and also an and Mariel, an Other than that, we're a pretty good group of speakers, fellow Toastmasters.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to be your general moderator. What is the base of giving an evaluation? It has to be honest, and it has to be motivational. And here in this group of currently 15 people, we should be honest. And I think that what Kate said in her speech, the essence of being a Toastmaster and receiving feedback is to accept criticism from fellow members in a way that we can learn from them, because we want to try to avoid making or committing the same errors again. Let me start with Scott's word of the day, which I thought was a lovely one. And what I enjoyed when I joined the meeting, the first message in the chat box was the word of the day. And I thought it was very innovative. However, people who join later don't see that message. So ideally, if you could possibly post these with word of the day every now and again as well, would be helpful. I heard a couple of times when people said, "You are muted." And the other day I was in a meeting and they said, "Would you please take yourself off mute?" And that sounds so much nicer than just saying, "You are muted." I liked Donna's table topics, table topics which allow creative thinking, critical thinking, coming up with ethical answers to questions which we come across often every day in our lives. And she pinpointed them at, what do you do if you scratch the knob of somebody else's car? Would you really leave a message? here in Europe, people get out a pen and a piece of paper, said, everybody's thinking that I'm writing my telephone number and my address, but this is not the case, and leave that note on the card. And that is not a joking matter. I would like to commend Victoria on her analytical evaluation of Kate's speech. This is what we are all here for. We want to hear what a speaker has done well, and the contents itself often is not of that importance. I think we need to look at structure. We need to look at the usage of notes rather than the piece of music, because you can use, you imagine you open a book and you start reading a book, and we're all using the same alphabet, we are all using the same language, but some are able to structure their opening lines in one way and others do in a different way. And therefore, this also allows me to continue on to Sharon. I think we need to, in the future, look at how we can improve our structure, that we don't necessarily need commendations of if we agree or not on how Vincent would solve the issue of being or not being a whistleblower. I think what is important is, did Vincent have a great opening? Did he do something which made us listen? Did he connect to his audience? That is what we need to do when we give an evaluation. We need to look at proper structure and allow our people we evaluate to learn from them and make it better next time. Thank you very much.